Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here to show you how to sew this lightweight backpack. I think that this backpack would be ideal for quick trips out, like to the grocery store, to the park. If you're just taking like a day trip and you want a little extra bag to put your water and lunch in, maybe your phone and keys. It is, like I said, very lightweight, which means it's washable. It's great for activities out at the soccer field or baseball field, wherever you have to go. And the way that that closes, it has a flap and then a hang tab so you can hang it up when the bag's not in use, and then an oversized button closure. It's got two web straps on the back and a clever installation there of those straps that I think you're gonna enjoy. And it's so great because it's really lightweight. You could just fold it up, toss it in your suitcase, and you're ready to go. I want to congratulate this week's Happy Mail winner, Karol DeStefano. You are the lucky winner of that sweet little pouch we made last week. I'm going to send you an email. If you'll just reply to that with your shipping address, I will get your prize right out to you. So shall we get started? Okay, so for this project, you're going to need to cut out 4 cotton quilt weight rectangles which measure 21 inches tall by 18 inches wide. We're going to start with the first piece here. And I want you to fold the top edge of that down 6 inches and then press that, and the bottom edge up 3 inches and press that. Then you're going to take your 1 1/4 inch webbed straps. Here I've cut these at a generous 22-inch length so that this backpack is not too small for everybody, since we're going to be giving it away, and better to have a little wiggle room than not enough. But you can certainly measure and size your own body. If you need it longer or smaller, that's the beauty of making your own bag. So take your webbing and measure in 3 inches from this edge and just slip that up under there, one end on the 3-inch mark, and put a pin in that to secure it. And then down here at the base, insert that strap in the fold at the 2-inch mark, and this will fold up there, and that's what it's supposed to do. So put a pin to secure that at the base, and then repeat the same process on the other side with your other strap. Okay, so I have my 2 little loops here which will become the backpack straps. Now I want to head over to the machine and stitch all the way across that top edge using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom and stitch all the way across. When you reach the straps, go ahead and back stitch and reinforce those. Okay, now if you remove your pins and open this up, your strap should be securely attached, and this method makes for such a clean, sharp panel. I love that. This is a great time for you to test fit your straps and make sure they fit. Just try it on your back. Granted, it doesn't have much body to it, but you will certainly know if they're too small, and then make adjustments as needed. Now, just to make sure that these straps are in there good and tight, we're going to fold that little seam that we just made up like that. So the strap is flat and the seam's folded up in the back. but we're going to work from the front there, and we're just going to run one line of stitching all the way across there. It'll tack down that seam and add one more layer of stitching to those straps. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing for the top edge there. Just fold that seam up, and you'll be able to feel that from the front, and then stitch across there. Okay, now that's the hardest part of this project, and that was pretty easy. Our straps are securely attached. You can give it a little tug. They look wonderful on both sides. Now, because we consumed a little bit of the length of this piece with the fold, it is now going to be slightly shorter than our remaining pieces. So we just want to take the remaining 3 panels, which were originally cut to 18 by 22, and line those all up on top of this panel here. So I have that top edge nice and even. I'm just going to turn it over so I can see. And I lost about 2 inches with those folds. So now is the time when you're going to go ahead and cut off that 2 inches off the bottom of the panel. I did not want you to do this before because you could consume more space with those folds, and everybody sews a little differently, so I didn't want your other panels to be too short. If you're going to make a lot of these, then you can easily cut 3 of your panels at 19 inches by 18 inches and 1 of them at 21 inches by 18 inches to accommodate for that extra 2 inches. But for the first time you make one, see what the difference is, and if it's 2 inches, great. If it's something else, then just account for that. So I'm going to go ahead and just take off 2 inches off of the remaining 3 panels. Alright, 2 of those you can set aside. They'll become the interior. Take your 3rd one and put that pretty side up. Now, with the strap panel, the portion that has the wider seam is the top of the bag, and the narrow seam is the bottom. So position that top towards the top, right sides facing. You're going to have to tuck those straps up in there and put a pin in each corner. The most important thing here is just to have the top and the base aligned. Of course, with the straps in the middle there, everything on the side is going to be kind of chunky. If you can get 1 pin in the center on the side, that should suffice. And now we're going to stitch down both sides and across the base. Using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're going to leave the top open. Okay, I have stitched all the way around 3 sides. I want to turn this right side out after I remove those pins, of course. And then go ahead and poke out those corners. This looks fabulous. This is just the best way to attach straps to a simple backpack. It's so clean, so tidy. Okay, so I have the straps attached. You could do another test fit if you like. You don't have to though. Now you want to fold this top edge inward 1 inch. And you can press that at the iron or with your fingers. It should be fine. And then go ahead and set this exterior piece with the straps aside for a moment. Take your remaining 2 panels And position those together, right sides facing. And you're going to stitch down the two long sides and across the base using the same 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, I've stitched all the way around 3 sides. I want to take this open top edge and fold that over approximately an inch and press that, and then grab that exterior with the top edge folded inward, and you're going to fit the interior in there. Begin by lining up one of the side seams and then pinning that in place. Then turn that around and go ahead and line up the second side seam. And then move to the center front. And the center back. Alright, so now the bulk of the bag is done. We have these great straps on the back. The styling for this is that the front flap will fold over like that. We are going to add a hang tag to the top of this that can double as a button tab closure. So I thought that was clever. To create the hang tag, you're going to cut a piece of material which measures 4 inches by 10 inches. You fold that in half, press it, open that up, bring those raw edges in to meet on that center line. Press the folded edges over one more time and then stitch down both sides. Okay, you have your finished tab there. Kind of shape that into a U and center that along that back panel in between the exterior and the interior layers. Go ahead and pin that in place. So the last thing to finish this fabulous bag is just to stitch right around this top edge and close everything up. So go ahead and start with the hang tab, and you should reinforce that with a back stitch since it will be receiving plenty of use with the opening and the closing and the hanging. Okay, so luckily I did quickly find my black embroidery floss. I've stitched all the way around that top edge. This looks so fabulous. I'm going to fold that down so the strap is like that, and my hang tag has been attached, and that kind of just presses down like that. I'm going to position my button here, and I can see where I need that, so I can move that hang tab out of the way, and I want to hold the button and then position the needle through that first hole. I'm just going to loop around in a little U-turn and come back up through that second hole. Lucky for me, it is only a 2-hole button, and so I have this embroidery floss doubled over, and I'm just going to knot that on the front of the button and let the floss kind of fray and create like a little accent tassel, and I put several knots in that, and I love that look. I think it's a lot of fun. So yay, our bag is done, and this design, I really like it. I know all 3 of my girls actually are probably going to want one. I was going to say both of the older girls will want one, but now I'm thinking of Isabel, and she's probably going to want one too. Okay, so that closes up like that. It gives you a little leeway if the bag's heavy. And then you got your straps on the back, and it should fit good. I don't know that it looks good on me with the shirt, but you should be able to put that on, and oh yeah, I like it. Actually, really like it. So I'm gonna have to make me one too. So if you'd like to win this beautiful custom backpack, you can enter to do so over at Sewspire.com. Just click on the Happy Mail link. If you've already entered once, you're good to go for this and all subsequent Happy Mail drawings. I will be back next week, and we are going to be making the Insulated Bottle Tote, which I'm going to come up with a clever design for that so that it can serve more than one purpose. If you don't have young children, you don't necessarily have to use it for baby bottles, but you could use it for water bottles, maybe even wine, something like that. So I'm still conceptualizing that design, but I will have something great for you next week. Until then, please know the creative genius in me salutes the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful day, everyone.